32 minutes or 33 minutes away from the closing bell, and we're looking at stocks seemingly reviving themselves after yesterday's, was it too dramatic to call it a bloodbath? I mean, it's down.
It's called a puke. That's what, no, but everybody here at SALT, the traders call what happened yesterday, just so you know, Liz, a puke.
Okay, I'm going to call it a sell-off with a little bit of a bath of blood. Just a little bit. Wait a minute. Fears of President Trump's presidency and the GOP agenda specifically, leaving the street's top money managers and hedge fund managers a little dazed, but certainly not confused, because they're ready to make some moves. 24 hours later, we have the special prosecutor assigned, and now word of a new FBI director to be named very soon, who Charlie Gasparino says may have a serious conflict of interest here. We're here at the live SALT conference.
Right, and by the way, when Blake was talking about Joe Lieberman being the pick, and President Trump has just come out and said that he is the leading candidate for the FBI job. Distinguished senator, actually a guy who I really like and admire a lot. You know, I mean, listen, he was thought about possibly to be John McCain's running mate back in 2008 for when he ran.
And he was Al Gore's running mate.
Yeah, he was Al Gore's running mate before that. But let's put the context here. If he's FBI chief, where he works now is a firm called Kasowitz-Benson, run by Mark Kasowitz. I would say Mark's a friend of mine. I've known Mark for years. I like him. He's a great lawyer, one of the toughest lawyers out there. Mark Kasowitz is Donald Trump's personal attorney.
And Lieberman works for Kasowitz.
And Lieberman works at the Kasowitz law firm. And I'm just saying, listen, I think Mark's a man of integrity. I think Senator Lieberman's a man of integrity. I will tell you that there's still a conflict. People will say there's a conflict of interest. Now, what will happen? He will break off all ties with the Kasowitz law firm. But let's play this out a little more. Donald Trump is being investigated by a special prosecutor, right? It just got appointed yesterday. Robert Mueller, the former FBI chief. That former FBI chief that causes Donald Trump to need his own personal lawyer specifically for that. Okay?
Yeah.
That personal lawyer may well be Mark Kasowitz. Now, is Joe Lee? Now, I'm not an expert at this. Judge Napolitano would be better at answering this question. But if you have a special prosecutor, does the FBI play no role in what the special prosecutor does? I think there's FBI agents that actually work for the special prosecutor. And I think there's some liaison. I don't know for a fact, but this is where it gets interesting. Listen, I think Joe Lieberman will pass Senate confirmation just because so many people like him and respect him.
Formerly a Democrat, now and an independent.
But this is going to be asked. It's so odd. I mean, think about how odd this is. Senator Lieberman works for the law firm that represents Donald Trump, who's under investigation now by a special prosecutor, and that law firm may be specifically for this one thing. Listen, I'm almost speechless, but that's the way the world works here. I mean, It's really crazy. And just so you know, when Blake broke the talked about Lieberman, people were talking about it here because here there's all these money managers here. Some of them are sued, right?
Yeah.
Are being sued by shorts because they were short selling certain stocks. One of the firms that sued them a lot was Mark Kazowitz's firm. He does a lot of litigation.
That's why they were all crowded around the monitors here at our
once they
center.
started putting it together, Lieberman, Kasowitz, Trump, people were talking about it.
One thing that you and I talked about certainly very early this morning was the death of Roger Ailes.
Yes.
And Roger Ailes ran Fox News and Fox Business. He brought both Charlie and me here, hired us away from CNBC, and he died at the age of 77. And listen, talk about conflicted. A lot of people are conflicted because of all of the news that has come out since July about harassment, and of course Roger was removed from Fox News. But I can say this, the condolences must be extended to his wonderful wife Beth and his son Zach, with whom I've attended the Ed Sheeran concert. I took him. He's just a sweetheart of a boy.
You know,
and,
whatever you say, I actually
like
Roger. He was good enough to hire me, and by the way, Roger, when people used to complain about me, like heavy hitters on Wall Street would complain about my reporting, Roger did have my back. I had
a huge spat with one of the stock exchanges at one point, and there was a lot of yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Roger sent out the F-16s for me.
Yeah.
He was that kind of boss who really protected you when he felt like it. We know, of course, about the conflicts, but I can only say my experience was all
You know what's
positive.
horrible? What I see on social media, particularly from some journalists, quote-unquote journalists, if you say something about Roger Ailes positive, like, you know, or condolences to the family, these animals go out there and call you every name in the book. Animals, pieces of garbage.
No, but they don't know what.
But I would say, you know what they should do? They should remember when they do that, he does have a wife and a kid, and leave him alone. These are animals. They're the lowest form of life on earth.
Well, Charlie, thank you very much. Roger Ailes was 77 years old. We will be right back.